let's get into Monday. So Monday was actually the day that I broke the losing streak. As you can see, this is the trade that I took right here. It was a 4R, almost a 5R. All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time that you're tuning in, my name is Lewis, and I'm just documenting my trading journey. As you read in the title, I finally broke my 2-week losing streak, and this week didn't end up how I wanted it to, but I did learn a lot from this week. So let's just get into the sponsor of this video. Let's get into the Discord, and then we'll just talk about what ended up happening this week and what I'm gonna be trying to work on, especially this weekend coming into this new week, or new month actually, not just the new week, for February. So let's just head into the sponsor of this video. First and foremost, I want to thank Tektronix for sponsoring this video. If you're looking for a quality PC with the best available parts in the market, make sure to hit up tektronix.com. The link is down in the description, and use my discount code LVFLIP for 10% off. As you can see, free shipping on all products, and they have a 1-year warranty, so take advantage of that. Obviously, if you hit the shop now, it'll take you to the Features LV Flip setup, which is my favorite setup, and I think the best bang for your buck on their website. And you can see everything it has in here. If you want to, subscribe to their emails and all that stuff, go down. If you also want to add certain things or take away certain things from a certain setup, you just hit contact them up here. They'll be able to quote you on any additions or subtractions that you want to add to your build. Yeah, they have a variety of things that they're adding to their website. As you can see, they have streaming setups, trading setups, and just regular setups in general. But you could go in here and you can see everything. The prices range, so you can get whatever price range you want. And if you want to add or subtract, you already know what to do. Now, that is the sponsor of this video. Now we are in my Discord. Make sure you guys feel free to join. All I ask is that you come in here, give good energy, and just talk. That's all that I ask. We have been fairly active recently for sure, so make sure you guys join the Discord. If you want to learn anything, ask any questions, feel free to pull up. If you want to join my premium Discord, which will get access to all this stuff, for sure you could join in there. All you have to do is go down and hit join. If you want one-on-one calls, it's also an option. It's in there. And make sure you join the Discord if you're willing and you are supportive of me. And yeah, like I said, all I ask is that you keep the conversation going and keep good energy. That's about it. Now let's head to what ended up happening this week. As you can see here on the 4-hour, we had a Monday low of week after that big dump we ended up having. Overnight session Monday all the way up to a Friday high of week. And this week was kind of crazy because we had FOMC. It doesn't look crazy on the 4-hour, but once we go down into the lower time frames, you'll see why I say kind of crazy. Before we get into everything, I am doing a series on my Instagram, and the Instagram is growing. I think we just hit 1,300 followers on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we hit 1,300 followers on Instagram with about almost 70k views in the last 30 days, and we just hit 1,144 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you so much for that. Like I said, I am posting all the trades that I've taken, so if you want to see the trades executions themselves of the trades I took this week, check out my Instagram, and then you can come back into this video and see how I break it down, because I want to use this series as a journal and as a back testing session with you guys. So that could be something that I end up doing. But yeah, let's just get into the actual days of the week and talk about everything. But thank you so much for the support. I couldn't be doing this without you. So okay, let's get into it right away. Let's get into Monday. So Monday was actually the day that I broke the losing streak. As you can see, this is the trade that I took right here. It was a 4R, almost a 5R. Yeah, let's just talk about what I ended up doing on this day. So after this very big dump overnight, I thought that we would retrace up. I was bullish for the week. I was very bullish for the week. So a lot of that, I'll leave that for later on in the video, but that leaves me to question why I took so many bad trades this week. And not bad as in, horrible trades, but I did take some trades that I questioned why I even took them. And I'll explain the winning trades, and then I'll go over the trades that should have been taken on these days, because I think that is the best way to really put it. Let's get into it. So this is the trade that I took. I thought that we would start to retrace higher, and we also had a 4-hour fair value gap. This 4-hour fair value gap right here, I'll mark it off for you. This is what I was targeting. I said, okay, we're probably just gonna start moving higher. This down here looks like the low of week. It looks like a rejection block. So I'm thinking higher prices for sure. And if you look at the 15-minute even, you see that we start to respect bullish order flow coming into the morning. So you see right here, we start to come up, and we're starting to build some bullish structure, especially right here, right before the open. This is the trade that I actually wanted to take, and I broke this down on my Discord for my premium members, the actual trade I took. But I wanted to take this trade in here because there was a 1-minute CISD be in there, but it happened too quickly and the risk was not going to be right either way. I think I should have tried it and then tried this trade later on as well. But let's get into it and break down the trade that I actually ended up taking, because I did take this trade on Monday. And right, so 9:30 we just completely expand, and I'm thinking, okay, we've been dropping all night, so I'm very confident we're gonna move up. And one thing that I do have to work on is not marrying a bias, but also keeping my higher time frame bias in mind, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but I hope it does, because sometimes I come into the day with a certain bias and then I just take all my trades with that bias and not really react to what the market is telling me. And I have a problem with that, and I've become really aware of it. Instead of letting price telling me it's gonna go in one direction, I keep trying to make it go in that direction, and that then just costs me money because I end up losing trades. But like I said, I was bullish bias. I thought we were gonna go up into that 4-hour gap, and so we did. So I saw that we started to move up, and at 10 I was anticipating us to move lower into this 15-minute fair value gap, and that's so we did. This is my liquidity pool to then move higher. And then as soon as we had the 10 o'clock open, which I'll mark out right here, this is the 10 o'clock open. So if you use the power 3, you already know what type of trade this is. This is the 10 o'clock, so we're below the open. This is all wick under this. Obviously we came back lower later on in the day, but I was already out. I don't care. I was trying to catch a move up into that 4-hour fair value gap, and that's exactly what I got with this trade on Monday. So like I said, we're below the 10 o'clock open. We drop into this 15-minute fair value gap, so I aligned my time frames, hopped into 1 minute, and this is actually the trade that I took. So that other one was, I was talking to one of my students and I was explaining what a safer trade could have been, and I'll explain it to y'all as well. But this is the actual trade that I took. This is my actual fill. I got filled in at 21,268.25, and I got out up here on the fair value gap, on the 4-hour fair value gap, for a 5R. Really, it was a 5R, not a 4R. Let's explain it. I took a trade in here, right, because I thought we would have an SMT, because ES had came and already dug into the fair value gap, and we started to reverse and push with this placement. This was enticement. This was to get people like me to get in, and that's exactly what happened. I got in here and then got stopped out because it hadn't gotten into the fair value gap, and that has to do with my patience, not being able to wait for my actual setup to set up, or even being scared of price leaving without me. And I think that honestly, since I've started posting a video on my Instagram every day of my live executions, that has affected my executions, because I'm trying to record a video and post it since I've been growing, and it's kind of enabling my bad habit of just taking trades just to take trades and being able to post it. So I have to be able to take a trade to actually win a trade, because I got my confluence. It's not just because I want to post a video on Instagram. I'm working on it and I've become very aware of it. But here we are. This is the trade that I took, and honestly, I had my stop below this low. This is the trade. So it was a 5.4R. So like I said, the whole video is on my Instagram, so go and check it out, because if you want to see the full execution and know that I'm not lying, I actually got filled here, and I'll explain why I got filled there. But we were in that 15-minute fair value gap. As you can see, this gray box, we had an SMT actually with ES going below these lows, and NQ not going below those lows, so that's even more confirmation. Then I was waiting for a CISD, and as you can see, the CISD was actually right here. So that's why I had that other trade. That should have been an entry. That could have been an entry, something like here, and have your stop below this low, targeting the same target. It would have been a 4R or so. Not a bad trade, but I got in earlier, and here's the reason why I got in earlier. We started already respecting bullish order flow, so I could tell we were in an area where we are potentially going to reverse. We have an SMT, and then after this down close candle was formed, we start to move higher, and then I watched this candle at 10:22. We come lower, react to it, and close higher. I said, okay, that's all I need. Hopped in right there, stop below that low. Honestly, should have been below this low, because this is the protective stop. So if I would have got stopped out, it would have been my fault, but it played out, and then it boomed. All I had to do was wait. Once we got up above these highs, I moved my stop to break even and then let it run. This was an amazing trade, and this is what I'm saying. Like, when I win, I have amazing trades. When I lose, it's because of something stupid, and I'm trying to work really hard to go back and figure out why I keep losing on these trades, or why do I have to trade on certain days where I take bad trades. I just have to be better for myself. But that is the best trade that could have been taken that day, unless you were bearish and wanted to take shorts, which I know a couple people were, and they got these shorts here down to the 9:30 open. So if you shorted that and you held from all the way up there, kudos to you. But I got my piece of the pie and got out. Now Tuesday, I was confused, man. Tuesday was my fault, if I'm being 100% honest. I believe I missed out on my entry on Tuesday because I was waiting for the 10 o'clock candle to open instead of taking the trade, because everything had already happened. First, I missed this trade right here, which was us coming into this 5-minute fair value gap, tapping it in shorts down to the London lows, or Asia lows. Those are Asia lows. As you see, Asia lows. Missed that trade. I was like, okay, it's not 10 o'clock yet. Okay, I get it. I'm waiting for 10 o'clock because I want to trade the 10 o'clock PM or the 10 o'clock PO3. But at the same time, I need to understand that price is gonna do what price does, and at this point, price had already done what it needed to do to then start moving higher, because I was bullish. I knew price was gonna end up moving higher. So what actually ended up getting me is the fact that I wasn't anticipating the 10 o'clock candle to open and just expand. As you can see right here, this 10 o'clock candle opened, little wick, and then expanded. Everything else from here up is all 10 o'clock candles. So I was expecting it to come back down at least to this fair value gap, but this was a breakaway gap. They didn't even come down and touch it, and boom. So let's explain what could have been done for me to take this trade and to win. First and foremost, I saw this and I'm gonna keep back testing it. I don't know yet if it's even something that I'm gonna end up doing, but I seen somebody take the range from Asia, and they took it like this, right? So you're bullish, and then as you can see, the 1.5 lined up perfectly with where it stopped at, and then you take this and you can see it went straight to the negative 2.5. I have to do my own back testing on it to really see what it is that they were seeing, but hey, it ended up playing out. Either way, just wanted to show you that. But my model showed up anyways, right? We were inside this 15-minute gap anyways, which was the gap that was made yesterday. So we were inside this gap. It was really my fault. We got the sweep of liquidity higher time frame London session. We got a sweep of liquidity right here. This is the last up close candle. As you can see, CISD closed above with energy. Big fast candle happened, and then we have a fair value gap. And what I've noticed is that if a fair value gap forms right after a CISD and it's this big of a move above it, I don't think it's gonna come back down. This fair value gap should hold, and that's what it did. And I saw this in real time and still didn't take the trade. Also at the macro time, 9:53, and I was like, no, let me just wait for 10. Missed out on the whole trade, missed out on everything. And this could have been a 4R. Obviously this was a good stop. Anything really in here would have been a good stop, because as you can see, it ended up going and then targeting the highs of London and so forth. As you can see, it just kept going. But it's my fault for not taking the trade. This was the trade that I should have taken, and it was my model. I should have took it. Should have not waited for 10 o'clock. That is the best trade that I seen on Tuesday, honestly. So let's just move on to now Wednesday. And Wednesday was FOMC. Wednesday cooked me, and I learned a lot. You know, I'm not afraid to trade news. There's a lot of people that are afraid to trade news. I'm not telling you to go and trade news, but I am trying to understand the moves. So that's why I was trading news. And first thing, I didn't even make it to the PM session because I had already taken my 2 trades and lost. And that is my problem, because obviously most of the time there isn't a move in the AM session. And if there is, it's only one move. So after you see a certain move, get out. Just get out. Really, that's what I should have done. I should have got out, and it's my problem. But once again, I seen somebody do this. I think they were targeting the 3 though, not the 2. Let me see. And it could be for some higher time frame stuff. Honestly, if I'm being 100, I think it's because it lined up perfectly with this. So I'm trying to see where exactly they anchored it. I think it was here. So they anchored it like this, and they were trying to get to the -3, which lined up with this sell side liquidity, and that is literally where it turned around. So I'm still trying to back test and figure out why they are taking the range like this. Honestly, I don't know. I really don't. I'm gonna keep back testing it, and obviously the full range for me would have been from here to here. So I don't know. I'm gonna check it out and see what it is. I'm gonna keep back testing it and trying it out on my own trades. But they took this short here, which is at 9:15 or 9:30 basically. Yeah, I think honestly that was the best trade on Wednesday, was a short down, and then from there just either sitting out FOMC or taking the whatever trade it was in here if you were going long, because I was still long bullish, or I was still bullish bias, but I don't want to have to sit through all this. This is nonsense. This is nonsense. I do not want to sit through that. But if you were going to, honestly, this was the protected low. I did take a demo trade where I got in here and had this as my protected low, or I had this as my stop loss, and I was targeting the new day opening gap or the new week opening gap, and it ended up getting hit Friday. So you would have to been waiting 2 days for that and gone through all of this. So either way, like I said, I took this trade and it ended up going up. I think I was up like $800 on demo after I took that, but let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the trade in the morning. So I was bullish. I was taking longs, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I was taking longs in all this chop, and honestly, I should have just not been taking longs. I should have just waited. I had already missed the move of the day, which was this short right here on the 5-minute. So I should have just been done. And honestly, we were in an inverse 15-minute gap, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So I could have just looked for a 1-minute change of state. Let's go back and find that. We're in a 15-minute inverse gap. So let me see if I could find a 1-minute change of state in there, because if I can, and then I missed my model. That was my model. I mean, that's the model that I'm working on that works for me the best. And yeah, I could see it already. Took liquidity right here, tapped into this fair value gap, change the state right there, change the state right here with energy. Boom. What time is this? 9:28. Obviously I probably would have just waited till 10 or 9:30, but as you can see, any down close candle after that would have been good. Could have took a short here, stop above this high, and then targeted either the 3 on that move like I showed you before, which was all the way down here, which I did see people target, which was these lows. It was basically these lows right here, or what I would have been targeting on that day, which was Asia lows. There was also a 4-hour gap lower that could have been taken right there. This was the best trade, honestly. This was the best trade to take on the AM session of that day. I should have came into that day knowing that, okay, we're probably just gonna chop most of the day, and if I'm bullish, I have to wait till 2:30. Honestly, if I would have waited after the news had came out, because the news came out at 2, so after 2:30, then sat down and looked for a setup, but I exhausted all my trade opportunities for the day because I wanted to try to catch the move and ride it. Most likely not gonna happen, especially on FOMC. This got cooked. So honestly, that's my fault, and I journaled it, learned from it. But let's move on to the next day, which was Thursday. Thursday, I had the most amazing break-even trade, which is here. Please go on my Instagram and watch this live execution because damn. So Thursday, I'm coming in. I see how we're expanding, right? I did notice that we didn't use anything inside of London to take off, especially on the higher time frames. There's no like higher time frame fair value gap here, at least that I noticed. Let me see on the 30-minute or something. I mean, I guess you could say we had this 30-minute fair value gap, which we had used to move higher. We were inside a 1-hour fair value gap and started to respect it. So I was just bullish. But I did notice that we didn't take out the London or the Asia lows yet. So I was anticipating us to just keep moving higher because I'm bullish. I'm still bullish. I'm still looking for that high. Still looking for this high right here, and then ultimately this high. That's why I have the eye up there. That is what I'm looking for. But just because I'm looking for that doesn't mean that we're gonna have longs every day. And Thursday was a perfect example of it. You can see how the 15-minute closed, but look at this 5-minute though. Please go look at my video on Instagram. Please go look at it because man, we had a crazy move. So right, I take a premature long, typical of me, and I have to stop doing that. I'm really working on stopping that bad habit of just taking it long premature, because I usually take a long, lose, and then take a win, which is eating into my profits. So if I just wait and then take that one win, I'm done. I honestly should have took profits above this high. I think that I'm also very greedy, but the reason I didn't was because I was aiming for this new week opening gap. I thought we were gonna get up there. We did end up getting up there. This is the trade that I took, right? I was on the 1 minute if I'm not mistaken, and I saw that we had swept liquidity, right? So we come down, sweep liquidity. I'm not sure if we had an SMT. I'll check. Yeah, so we did end up having an SMT, and that's why I entered. We had an SMT, and I entered on an inverse fair value gap. So I entered after we inversed this 1 minute fair value gap right here. I entered there. I saw that I had my stop below this low initially because that would be the protected low. We have an SMT at that low, so obviously that is the best spot to place your stop at. And then I entered on this inverse of this fair value gap, stop below that low, targeting that high. So honestly, not mad at myself for taking this trade. This is a good trade. What I should have done on that day, honestly, was take profits after we took out London high. Now that would have probably netted me around $200, and I can't be mad at that because honestly, most people don't even make $200 in a day at their job. So what I did was I moved my stop to break even after we moved to this point and took out that high, and we were very close. How many points is that? From that to the fair value gap is what, 23 points? It's crazy to even think that I didn't take profits there, but then I should have known as soon as we moved down this low, came up and then started to break again, I should have closed the trade there. No, what did I do? I held it and saw it come all the way down to beyond a break even. So this was an amazing break even. The video has been doing crazy on Instagram. Go and check it out, please, so you can see this. I need to know for sure, especially after we closed the 15-minute, because I saw the 15-minute close like this. Come on now. We all know. Took out liquidity from that point. I think there was an S&T at the highs as well. Come on now. I should have closed as soon as I saw us close like this on the 15-minute. And at least gotten out with some profit. I don't know, I just watched it, and then I set up this, and I took this on demo on my Discord, and I took it in here. So if I'm ever live trading, I'll be in here. Go and check it out. If you want to see me live trade, sometimes I'm in there. You'll see me trading, and I took this on demo because we obviously were bearish. Order flow is bearish at the moment. We took out session liquidity, took out London session. We still have Asia session down here that is very enticing. Come back down, inverse this fair value gap, so we have displacement lower, leave this 5-minute 5-minute gap. In the 5-minute gap, I noticed we start to reject from that 5-minute gap, so I took it on demo and ended up hitting. But did I take it on my actual account? No. What I did was I got in a long, like right here, somewhere in here, got in some profit, and then it came back and took me out for a loss when I should have just been done for the day. I should have just been done. I took my 2 trades. I got a break even and a loss, and then not trusting myself because I knew we were gonna end up going lower just because of how bearish the order flow was, and we had London liquidity down here. So I took it. I think I let somebody else get into my mind and tell me to take it long, but I was still bullish, and obviously I was right that I was still bullish because we still moved up. But does that mean that we were bullish in that instant? No. In that moment, we weren't bullish. We were very bearish, and I should have just stayed with this trade, took it, and then watched it, and I would have got a W after taking a break even and a loss. I would have ended this day green on up. Maybe broken my rules because I took 3 trades, but I would have ended green, or at least just taken the trade on demo and just stayed on demo. Yeah, that's what happened on Thursday. Now Friday, I was thinking we were gonna short on Friday, and yes, we did short on Friday, but I was too premature. Price wasn't ready and wasn't telling me that we were gonna go short. I didn't wait till we got into a PD array, and this is a 4-hour fair value gap if I'm not mistaken, with a high right here, an old high from Friday. So we took out liquidity, and then we end up having this CISD. Either way, I could have waited till later on to take shorts, but I was taking shorts right here. I'm thinking, okay, we didn't use any type of PD array to really move up in London. This looked like, okay, this is setting up a move to move lower, and it did, but not at the time that I took it. So I took 2 shorts, and it doesn't make sense. I should have been paying attention to what order flow was doing at the time, and I really don't understand why I was taking shorts right there. I think I wanted it to go lower instead of reacting to what price is doing. And I entered on a trade. If you go look at the trade that I took, I entered when price didn't even give you my model. So I don't know why I'm taking trades like that. Like, it just doesn't make sense. All right, so I first took a short right here, and I'm in some profit, but then it comes back and takes me out. Right after that, we take out this high. Obviously, as you can see, the CISD would be right here. This would be the CISD, and I had it marked out. If you go look at the video on my Instagram at Lewis Visuals, you'll see it on my Instagram. I had the CISD marked out, but why did I enter right here? Does that even make sense? Yeah, maybe because I wanted a tighter stop and wanted to be right. Obviously, targeting those lows of London, which honestly I was targeting these lows down here, taking profits here, and then letting it run. But at the same time, this is not telling me we're bearish. This is not. Just because we got super liquidity does not mean that we're bearish. So that is my fault for taking that trade. This should have been the trade of anything for a 3R after we closed below this low, if we even closed below that low. But I took a bad trade. Should have honestly taken a long on this day. Why? We got a 4-hour fair value gap up there, clearly aiming for that 4-hour fair value gap. As you can see, the 10 o'clock candle opened and just went up and never manipulated lower. So it is my fault for taking this trade short. I know there's a couple of people who took a long in there, and I think I would have been able to take a long if I was bullish, which I was. I don't know why I was taking shorts. I think it's because of the way that daily closed on that Thursday. You could see just how we closed like this. I'm thinking, okay, we might just end up going lower, and we did, but not before we manipulate all the way up there into, you know, going above the new week opening gap and then going into the 4-hour fair value gap, which is exactly what we did. Yeah, I should have just been looking for longs until, you know, been told by the market that we were gonna go short. But like I said, I have a lot of work to do. I'm gonna try to become better and keep getting better, and especially as we're growing in the Instagram, I just gives me more fuel to, you know, provide better trades and become even better. And I don't know, I was having an amazing year last year until everything just went wrong. So I gotta fix all the little tiny mistakes, like getting in too early, marrying a bias, taking an absurd amount of trades. Now I've been fixing that. I'm not taking a lot of trades. My frequency has been lower, but just taking trades too early and no confluence trades, just off of sweeper liquidity and thinking that I'm right, that it's gonna go lower. No, let the market tell you exactly what's gonna happen. But either way, thank you so much for watching this video. I've been yapping too much. Make sure you check out techtronics.com and use my discount for 10% off. Check out the Discord down in the description, and all I ask is that you please talk in the Discord. Thank you so much for 1,300 followers on Instagram and for 1,100 followers on YouTube, or subscribers on YouTube. Once again, I will be back next week. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you. Peace out.